中でを今も忘れられない君と過ごした時間夢のように流れた背中越しに感じる冷たい風さよならを告げる前にもう一度だけさよならバイバイ切ない言葉心の奥で響いている思い出は消えないどこにいても愛のかけらを抱きしめてさよならバイバイ涙の海で君の面影を探し続ける最後の一瞬忘れないようにこの胸に刻む永遠に街の明かりがぼやけてゆく寂しさが心を締め付ける
Okay. Hello, people. Okay. I'm trying to see if everything is not lagging or anything like that. I adjusted a lot of things on my computer to try and help out with the output not getting gross and laggy like it was last night. So, and my nail came off when I was doing that. So I'm gonna have to be emoting with my left hand, and I'm not left-handed. Okay, so I'm eating dinner, and I finally got a time to like sit down to myself or whatever, and I was like, ooh, I should watch another one of the Civilization things because Ish, the guy who made the one I saw last night, it was really, really entertaining. He made one a couple years ago, and he's made a couple other ones that are shorter, not 2.5 hours long. And then there's also a POV of Saps, Saparda, who was like the guy that was hunted in that, and he has his entire like POV of what happened, and I'm like, oh my god, I love all of these. So I don't know. I either want to watch the one from 2 years ago or the one from like Sap's point of view because we just watched that one last night. I don't know. It's also good. Like, I really like how they did the cinematography and the layout for these. They're really, really cool. There's also one where they simulate a prison that he made 3 years ago that's only a half hour long. So if we only want to commit to something short, that's fine. But there's another Civilization one about cross dimensions. That's not by Ish, it's by someone else. He made another 1,000 player Master Civilization in Minecraft 2 years ago. That's only like an hour and 13. It's 10:10. I say we go for this one. We go for it, right? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I like the way Ish commentates on all of his stuff. He's really, really funny. So far, so good. No lagging. Thank God.
In the biggest social experiment ever done in Minecraft, I scattered 1,000 people across 4 massive islands to simulate a realistic civilization. The players were given no help or guidance, and just like in real life, if you die, you remain dead forever.
I'm excited.
Now, each player has the freedom to do whatever they want. Gather resources, join a society, become a dictator, or if it comes down to it, go to war. With so
The war and the last one was crazy.
Anything can happen, but I can promise you one thing. This event ended up having the most entertaining story arc I've ever seen. You do not want to miss this. So pick a nation to root for and enjoy the video. I present to
picked a nation
you
last time.
the 1,000 player Civilization experiment.
Well, that's not true. I guess I picked Barbie Island, but they were just peaceful the whole time.
Don't forget, if you want to participate in these videos, join my Discord server, and of course, subscribe to my channel. All right, everyone ready to be teleported? Jump if you're ready. Okay, here we go.
I'm in.
On day 1, all 1,000 players were teleported to their islands, each its own biome. We had plains, desert, snow, and jungle.
This is huge.
Most players spent the first day scouting their island, searching for a place to settle, but almost immediately we started to see people dying, and oddly they were all coming from the snow island.
Oh,
it
God.
turned out people were freezing to death after getting stuck in powdered snow, which looks exactly like regular snow but sucks you in like quicksand.
Uh-oh.
This guy's trying to free his friends. Oh no. Even worse for the poor people on the snow island, trees were almost nowhere to be seen. The desert island also had very few trees, which players needed if they wanted to get wood. But the places where players did find trees quickly became extremely valuable hotspots for groups to settle at and colonize. Look at all these people coming together. Community crafting. They're making
Community
progress.
crafting is so
Meanwhile, the
cute.
people on the jungle island had
That's so
essentially
cute.
unlimited trees and were thus already thinking about other things. What did you say your plan was?
I'm gonna take over the world.
Take over
is
the
my right-hand
world. Hi guys.
Garbo. Hello, right-hand
Hang
man.
on, I gotta
Garbo.
actually open.
It doesn't speak.
While having a lot of
Let's team
trees did
manager
seem like
so
an
I can see
advantage
you
at
guys.
first, many jungle people found the island to be difficult to traverse, given the immense amount of trees and the hostile mobs that would spawn on the surface due to lack of sunlight. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The fear of traveling also made it more difficult for jungle people to talk with each other, since
This
players
is
could
not a
only
nice little
read
joke.
chat messages from people 100
Hi.
blocks away from them or less. Although frankly, at least they didn't have to see what me and the admins were looking at. Lastly, we get to the Plains Island, and boy was it different from the others.
Oh, it's pretty.
It truly was
Oh, bee.
just the perfect island to live on, with green grass, trees, animals, and no natural dangers.
Why are you
Skeptical
boating on the land?
family or farm. Not needing to worry about dying as much as everyone else, the people on the Plains Island were among the first to start mining for resources like iron or diamonds. They were also the first to build up villages, and yes, to
How did
create
they build this shit so
civilizations.
fast?
Throughout the first day, you could see two
Guys, like,
main
I'm not
groups
good at
starting to
Minecraft. I
come
don't know how
together.
they do
One
this.
of them, a democracy led by a player named Horace Crown.
Uh-oh.
Our aim
They're
is
already
building
forming
the
governments.
most beautiful and nicest city on the entire server.
And the second, also a democracy led by a player named Sidefall.
I just want to make sure nobody dies.
It was actually kind of odd how similar these two civilizations were. They were both located on the southern shore, they both had democratic elections, and their leaders both wanted good for their own people. I just
Uh-oh,
hope
are you
something
trying to
happens
lag?
to change that.
Ish, I'm gonna make an Among Us character.
Never mind, I hope they die. Soon it was the end of day one. Players across all 4 islands logged off and made plans for the following day.
Is that just an ad? Please don't be an ad.
Truth
It
is, not
is.
every child gets the chance to go to the.
I hate
In
ads.
North America alone, more than 20
Okay. Nope. Get out. Get out.
million kids may never step inside.
Please stop. Wait, is my internet not connected to the right internet? Is this why I'm lagging? Hold on. See, I thought I fixed this. No, I'm on the right one. I'm on the right one.
It was on day 2 when civilizations really began to thrive. In the southeast corner of the desert, what used to be an empty patch of grass was turning into the desert's largest
Oh my
nation.
God.
Hello, good sir.
Yo, what's up, Ish? The Sultan is back.
You might recognize the player Storming Hell from my first civilization video where he led a nation called the Sultanate. Well, now the desert dictator is back with the Sultanate 2.0, and this time with
Oh.
a population of over
gotta watch the
100
first one.
people.
I want to maintain order and peace in the desert.
The rules, as established by the Sultan, included wear proper attire, do not eat pork, complete your mandatory work, and most importantly, acknowledge the Sultan as the supreme and divinely chosen leader. Moving on, since it was still hard to get food in the dry climate, the
It's
people of
amazing
the
how
Sultanate
dictators
focused
are
on
formed
developing
in this.
different types of food production, like fishing in the surrounding ocean. On top of this, a player named Drip Chicken made a chicken market.
And I saw
Although
some
when I
micros
checked it
and
out
everything else.
myself,
You know,
it
I
turned
believe
out
you.
to be a very different type of market.
Welcome
Maybe I'm
to
just
Los
impatient.
Pollos Hermanos.
Thank you.
Would you like some totally legal sugar?
Drip chicken.
Anyway, we finally go back to the Snow Island. As I was flying around, I found what
Weather
I can
out
only
here is
describe
pretty
as a British
wet. It's
shrimp.
raining right now.
Is the cold climate really the best
Raining
place
all
for a
day.
shrimp?
I mean, depends. But look at my little friend over here, you know?
Wait, who's your friend? Underneath?
Yeah, he's fully here. He's literally...
Oh.
What is that?
Chilling.
Oh, he's up here now.
No, my fish buddy. Please go back down.
Despite the killer powdered snow and the occasional polar bear, the people on the
Polar
Snow
bear?
Island were actually doing pretty well building settlements together. Nobody was fighting because everyone had one common enemy, the harsh climate. That being said, it turned out that all of these snow settlements might be a bit more than just little communities. On day 2, rumor was getting out about a conspiracy that, despite them all being spread out across the entire island, a lot of these snow settlements were actually all being run by one single person.
What?
Whose goal was to unify the entire Snow Island under one mighty empire. This person's name was Alanulo, and he was running this
That's a name.
entire empire recruitment operation from an underground bunker.
How
where
are
he
y'all
felt he was
doing
safe
that?
for the time being. Essentially what he would do was hold meetings with people who were already leaders of their own settlements and convince them to merge their civilizations with his empire so they would be stronger together. He would give these leaders orders to fulfill, and in exchange they would be guaranteed high-ranking positions in the empire. If this empire
Duke
actually
Devin,
succeeds in uniting all 300 people on the Snow Island, it would easily become the most powerful nation in the world. In fact, it would be bigger than the Sultanate and the two Plains democracies combined.
I love how
Will
Sidefall
this
here is not
ambitious
trying to do
plan
propaganda
actually
like he did in the next
succeed?
one.
Let's see what happens in the following days.
I just like how they narrate this. It's so cool. Y'all went so far underground to make that. How do you keep track of where you put that?
We've now covered the politics
How
of
do you do
every
that?
island
Did you
except
put a
for
thing
the
on it?
jungle. So what's going on here? Well, quite frankly, I had no freaking idea. It was chaos.
How
There
you
were
not know
about
what's going on
30
on your own
different
island?
camps and tribes spread out across the entire island, and a lot of them were in constant fights with each other.
What? Why?
What is going on? There's a fight here. Here's a tribe that imprisoned one of their own members for being, quote, too rich.
I say we tax him and then let him out of jail.
Them boots, take your shoes.
So overall, there
Oh
was
my
chaos.
God.
Nobody trusted one
I mean, I'm
another,
all
and
about
to
eat the
add to
rich,
this, nobody
but-
wanted to travel too far into the jungle because they were scared of rogue tribes and especially hostile mobs.
Hostile
They actually had
mobs?
to remove creepers on day 3 because they were killing too many people.
Whoever asked.
Oh!
Now, there were actually 2 tribes that were considered the most influential in the jungle. The first, a river-based settlement called the Sea People, whose leader was killed almost immediately by a random rogue tribe. The new
Yeah.
leader, Yeetspeak, dedicated his rule to maintaining order, but also to keeping his people happy by setting up events like stand-up comedy nights.
I got a few jokes about unemployed people. Oh wait, none of them work.
That's funny.
Skechers has the perfect holiday gift for
That's
everyone.
fine.
Hands-free cozy fit Skechers slip-ins. It's a hands-free holiday with Skechers slip-ins.
New Hug Fit 360 waistband versus a soccer ball. Will it stretch?
The second influential tribe was located in the dead center of the jungle, and it was what appeared to be a faction revolving around the worship of a player named Seth. Hello, Mr. Seth.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Oh, this is just creepy.
That
You're
is
telling me
creepy.
This isn't a personality cult.
Nah,
Why are they
I
all
wouldn't
dressed
say
like him?
That. It's a way of life, all right? It's a religion.
Lastly, as I was flying around, I happened to run into this guy again.
I'm gonna take over the world.
Believe it or not, he had actually become the leader of a pretty impressive settlement. Granted, there was a lot of internal drama in his tribe.
Do you see this like really cool tower thing that we're building here?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. It's really cool. Isn't it? And do you see our farm over there? It looks really cool and nice. Now come over here. Could you tell us what this is?
In short, 2 of Wazik's tribe members built a librarian's tower, and he thought it was ugly and wanted to burn it down. Now, when I talked to the librarians, they said Wazik just doesn't like the library because he's illiterate. As I
Damn.
said, drama.
Not
Now,
illiterate.
The jungle wasn't the only place having problems. The Plains
They
Island
said,
was
"That
seeing
bitch can't
both a
read."
surge in
That's why he
development.
angry when he
This
sees
whole
books.
place is awesome, but also a rise in tension. The leader of one of the Plains democracies, Horus Crown, had found out that the other Plains nation, run by Sidefall, had reached out to the Snow Island looking for potential alliances.
Oh,
Horus Crown
look
did
for
not like that
alliances.
Sidefall was reaching out to other islands instead of reaching out to him, so he quickly established his own alliance with 2 other Plains settlements, both located on the east side of the island, which would essentially cut off Sidefall's access to most of Plains if a war were to break out.
We think Sidefall is definitely up
We're
to
only
something,
on day
and we're planning
2.
to stop them.
The people living on the Plains Island, who had
How did
otherwise
y'all build
taken
that so
their
fast?
peaceful lives for granted, were getting very worried about a potential massive war that would devastate their homes.
Here in KFC, we
Look at the chickens.
Meanwhile, on the desert island,
Is
the
it Colonel
Sultan
Sanders?
Storming Hell was not happy when he discovered that a group of mountaineers had made their home on the mountains surrounding the Sultanate. So, the two groups had a meeting to discuss this dispute over land.
Why does the Sultanate have any more right to a plot of land?
Simply, might makes right. We're stronger, so if it comes down to it, may the stronger group win.
People in the desert were starting to get worried about Storming Hell's tyrannical nature, so some of them moved to a quickly growing democratic nation on the other side of the island. This was Theria, the name derived from the Greek word for freedom. I asked their elected president, Saps, about the Sultanate.
Hopefully we can establish some peaceful relations for now. I mean, we're in the middle of a desert. Why fight, you know?
Overall, each island had its own conflict between the desert's Sultan dominance, the plains' alliance disaster, the jungle's total chaos, and the Snow Empire's takeover. At least one of these conflicts was bound to erupt very
bound to.
soon. And that conflict
We're only on
was
day 4.
Plains. At the beginning of day 4, a propagandist told everyone that Sidefall was about to attack the Plains Island. Horace Crown called a code red, and everyone on Plains was freaking out, including these
Not the
guys
Among
at the
Us
center
reference.
of the Plains Island who built a tavern on a lake. I spoke with the bartender.
Welcome to the tavern. I hope you can enjoy a nice beer,
Nice.
since it might be our last.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, what was Sidefall actually doing? Well, it turns out Sidefall was just as confused as everyone else, since he had no plans to attack anyone. The propagandist had lied.
I have no clue what these guys are talking about. I don't want to attack anyone. I don't want a civil war.
You were framed. I can't believe
No
it. So
wonder he
now,
became
both sides were
a
gearing
propaganda
up for
guy
war
the next
over
one. He was
nothing
framed
but
in this one.
miscommunication. And all
For
throughout,
propaganda.
Sidefall was desperately trying to reach out to the other Plains leaders, saying that he didn't want war. The other leaders doubted him, but they actually agreed to meet with him as long as they met on neutral ground.
Okay.
Whoever told you guys I want war is lying.
Tell us the truth then.
While they talked, Horace Crown secretly had undercover spies search Sidefall's entire village. But he wasn't aware Sidefall had someone else place a bunch of TNT under his village.
Oh my
But
god.
things went too
Oh my
far.
god. The double entendre.
We have a peace deal.
By the thinnest of margins, crisis was averted. After talking, the leaders had made a peace treaty. I actually didn't get to see much of the meeting, but here's essentially what happened. Sidefall first apologized to the other Plains leaders for not being open with them, specifically about his relationship with the Snow Island. He told them he had only reached out to Snow in hopes to get on the good side of a player named A Freakin' Turkey, who was apparently Alanulo's second in command. The Plains leaders discussed their disagreements on foreign relations, Horace Crown preferring keeping alliances within Plains, and Sidefall believing in making allies on other islands.
Oh,
But
yes,
they
that
were
makes the most
able to
sense.
put their differences aside. They banished the propagandist from the Plains Island, and at the end, the four major Plains nations created a Great Plains Alliance. The Plains Island went from being on the brink of war to being the most united
Hey for all the jumpy,
island
happy
of
jumping.
all. And it
Where'd
wasn't
y'all
just
banish
Plains.
Trink Talk
Toward
to,
the end
though?
of the day, all four islands were prospering. From the people on Snow collecting resources and building together, to the people in the desert working on the Sultan's build project, which was to create a massive holy city. Even the jungle was at peace at the end of day 4, since the remaining jungle people were just thankful that they were still alive. Soon though, it was the next day. But before we let people back onto the server, the admins and I decided to add a little something.
You added a random
We added
island.
a fifth island in the center of the world, and we didn't tell the players that we did this. We wanted to see who would discover the island, how long it would take to find, and then what would happen next. So we started up the server, and the wait began.
They just put a random ass
Meanwhile, we have to talk
island
about the Snow Island.
in the middle of the game.
Hello, Turkey.
Hello,
Frickin'
Itch.
Turkey
How's it
is so funny.
going?
On day 5, the player A Freakin' Turkey finally gave me a full explanation of the mysterious Snow Empire, which I found out was named the Aculon Empire. Still fearing for his safety, the Empire's founder, Olanulo, gave orders entirely from his secret underground bunker, while his second in
Y'all in his
command, A
underground
Freakin'
bunkers.
Turkey, carried out his orders and led the people on the ground. You guys have settlements across the entire island.
There is a lot. Just know none of it was made by slaves.
The Empire relied on strict order to maintain peace.
What?
It's now 200
What?
citizens were each assigned a
Thank
daily
you for
job
that
of
information.
building, mining, or fighting. And whenever they were online, all citizens were required to be in
I want
2
popcorn
Discord
now.
voice channels at once, which I didn't even know was possible. Also, the Aculon Empire made it a point to document everything, including its list of members, its hierarchies, its physical landmarks. But what I found most impressive was the high-level operation going on in this seemingly regular building.
This singular building is the richest place in the entire server.
They called this the Quartermaster's House, and it was where the Aculon Empire not only collected and stored all its resources, but also...
How do they build this shit? What? How do y'all build this in this game? I've only played Minecraft like a couple of times. It hurt my eyes after a while, so I stopped playing it. In fact, this is hurting my eyes now. Let me put my blue light glasses on. How are they doing this? This is so intricate.
Also distributed items using a complex request system, where, for example, a citizen asks for iron ingots, and then the quartermasters decide exactly how much iron that citizen deserves, based on a detailed algorithm they developed. Has anyone tried breaking into this place?
Not yet. Let's just say, if you tried to get in without permission, you're not gonna get a very nice welcome.
And I kid you not, just a few minutes later, this player, Xelius, was caught trying to sneak his way in, and he was sentenced to a public execution to be held the next day. Things are kind of strict around here, huh?
As long as they don't take me my squid, I'm a happy man. Oh man, look at him.
The Snow...
It's the holidays, so get them what they really want. A 3-course meal
Public
wrapped in a festive
execution
box.
is crazy.
2 pizzas, breadsticks.
Island continued to be hyper-vigilant about criminals, but so were other nations, like the Desert Sultanate, which made an inescapable prison. He is surrounded by lava. Or Wazak's nation in the jungle, which made a giant sand trap. Oh, this is evil.
Just you wait until we have a nice little deliberation with some.
I'm gonna be put to death, you know. Like,
Even planes didn't feel exactly safe, as this self-described capitalist nation made a giant wall to protect its people.
We want to make sure that communists cannot take this away from us.
But as I was talking to these guys, I got tipped off from someone in the desert that something big was about to happen. The Sultanate army's on the move.
Why are they invading? Where are they invading?
The Sultan had sent his elite squad on a secret nighttime mission. Their goal? To find a group of people that had been rumored to want to assassinate the Sultan. They're at the north side of the island now.
Oh yeah, okay, this is our target,
Okay, let's go, let's go.
According to the Sultan, the people hiding in this little settlement were indeed the attempted assassins, and now the group had a decision to make.
Oh, we're gonna kill this guy.
Do we kill this guy?
Up until now, there hadn't been any violence between desert nations.
How are they
Will
gonna
this
kill this
be the
guy?
breaking point?
We are showing the desert that if you make plans to kill me, justice will come for you.
The Sultan's elite squad spent the rest of the night raiding the settlement, but
Not
during their
raiding
chase
the
of another
settlement.
suspected assassin, they ran literally into a major dilemma.
We know he's running to Theria.
The guy they were trying to kill was running toward the democratic nation of Theria to get asylum there. The Sultanate is really about to roll up on Theria. Holy,
No,
this could cause
no.
a major conflict. But the Sultanate's army didn't care. They barged into Theria and searched every single house to find this one person, who ultimately ended up getting away. Meanwhile, the people of Theria were freaked out by the raid, but when they looked to their leader Saps for guidance, he was nowhere to be seen.
Saps!
He had fled. Eventually, the Sultanate's army left, but Theria was not going to forget this.
Oh, that's not good. I didn't think Saps would be it. Well, he did run, and that the second one, he was framed to be a murderer. So, I mean... Oh, the execution hadn't happened
By
yet.
attempting to blow up the quartermaster's house, Zelius betrayed our people. And for this, he must die. Glory to Aculon.
It was a busy day for a
Everyone
freaking
typing
turkey.
glory
The
to
execution
Aculon.
was successful.
This
But
looks like
the
so
Empire
much
didn't
fun.
yet have a written constitution or
I
a
just-
justice
I feel like I'd F it
system.
up,
So a
or I
freaking
would
turkey
die
met with
early.
a player who claimed to be a lawyer to set up a legal system.
You get the smaller seat, unfortunately, but do know it is quite important as well.
I'm used to cramming into tight spaces.
Afterward, a freaking turkey took his guard to Drew and confronted some farmers who he claimed weren't producing enough
Not
food
Lego
for
Man,
the
aw.
Empire.
I swear I will not miss any payment I have to owe you.
Drew,
Thanks.
the bow, please. I expect 5 stacks of bread delivered within 1 to 2 business days.
Even though he was a little tyrannical at times, a freaking turkey was actually becoming very well liked in the Aculon Empire because he got things done and he was a charismatic speaker.
A freaking
Fellow
turkey.
citizens, it is my distinct honor to pronounce Steve and Pixel as husband and wife.
They had a wedding. That's so cute.
See, even though he was only the second in command
Oh.
of the Snow's Aculon Empire, many people were starting to
I didn't
view
know they were
a
gonna-
freaking turkey
I wasn't
as a
ready for
better
that.
candidate for leader than Alanulo.
I wasn't ready
since
for that
most
part.
people in the Empire had never even seen Alanulo, given that he's been hiding underground the entire time, afraid of being assassinated. In fact, some of his own citizens weren't even sure he existed. While Alanulo ruled from afar, only talking with high-ranking officials, a freaking turkey was considered a man of the people, someone who talks to everyone. In fact, a freaking turkey had gained so much notoriety that leaders of other nations were starting to reach out to him for alliances rather than to Alanulo. So as a result of all of this, Alanulo was starting to get a little worried.
Turkey knows that I created this empire and its entire political system, and as long as I am alive, I will be its only ruler.
Oh. Oh, okay. Rule then, bitch. You on the ground.
That's very
You're not doing nothing.
Our monkey religion, we hold fast to.
Here on the Jungle Island, things haven't slowed down one bit. Amidst the chaos, this small group had made a monkey religion, and their goal was to build the biggest tree in the entire world.
The monkey never stops. While everyone else is fighting and killing each other, we are peacefully building.
By now, every tribe in the jungle seems to have its own goal.
They made
These
a duck
guys
statue?
building a tree. This group, called the Blue Cross, provided food and shelter to refugees. Meanwhile, Wazak's goal, which was still to take over the world, was seemingly driving him mad, especially after the librarians built a second tower. You did this out of spite, didn't you?
Well, no. Well, yeah.
Overall, it seemed like there was a lot on Wazak's mind, as if he was planning something. Something big.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Seth and the Sea People were still the two biggest tribes in the jungle, and both pursued very innovative political strategies. For example, Seth got married, but only so he could parade around the jungle and demand wedding gifts from everyone.
Oh my
and
God.
you know what? It freaking worked. The Sea People, on the other hand, had taken on a massive goal, which was to finally end the chaos in the jungle, and they did this by sending out stealth groups and hunting down thieves, murderers, and anyone who they claimed did wrong. However, some of the
someone made their cat tomato.
wrongdoers they killed were actually allies of Seth. In response, Seth demanded that the Sea People stop their initiative immediately, but the Sea People planned to continue. All of a sudden, the Jungle Island was on the verge of a massive war, as if there wasn't enough chaos already.
They're about to have a civil war on their hands. Oh, we're already on day 7? The Pokemon key, okay.
Wait, is
Oh,
someone
the
actually here?
Pokemon key? That's cute.
Whoa, this is crazy. This is awesome.
On day 7, a player named the Pokemonkey discovered the secret 5th island. The island had a mysterious dead terrain, a small pre-built village in the center, and underground, it contained netherite, which is the strongest and rarest resource in the world.
Nice.
Now, Pokemonkey was a part of Sidefall's nation in Plains, and he quickly alerted Sidefall about the very strange and unexpected discovery he'd just made. He's taking the Blue Lantern so people believe him. Guys, I'm not lying, there really is an island! 2 minutes later, another person found the center island. This time, someone from the jungle. Then, like a domino effect, more and more people started arriving, typically either alone or in small groups, like these guys from the desert. Even though they all came from different islands
Why is
and
he a
nations,
chicken?
nobody was fighting. In fact, they seemed to be forming friendships and simply admiring this new mysterious place. He's saying this is amazing. Quickly, word began spreading across the world that there was a 5th island, and about 30 minutes into day 7, basically everyone knew. It was crazy how fast everyone found out. Now, some nations were hesitant about visiting, believing that the island was some sort of trap, while other nations like the Aculon Empire sent out large exploratory groups to investigate the island. So Aculon is here, but instead of mining for netherite, they're taking the wool from the tents. Oh, they don't have sheep in the snow island. That makes sense.
You forgot to give them sheep in the snow island?
No nation, not even the Snow Empire, had the courage to publicly claim the center
They're taking
island
the
as
wool.
part
Oh.
of their nation, as their territory. Probably because it would result in conflict with other nations, which was my secret intention when adding the island, that it would cause some type of war.
Of course
But
it was.
it didn't cause a war. Or maybe just not yet.
Oh, there's water flooding in the mine.
Meanwhile, I present to you the story of Los Pollos Hermanos.
What? Are they all chickens?
Wow, you've really expanded your business.
Yeah, we're doing quite well.
Because starvation was such a big problem in the desert, Drip Chicken had made it his life's mission to feed the people of the desert. And ever since I spoke with him on day 2 next to his little food stand, Los Pollos Hermanos had become a staple of the Sultanate. But this business would soon run into some problems. See, on days 4 and 5, the Sultan storming hell was unsatisfied with the slow progress on his build project, the Holy City. So he demanded that the farmers of the Sultanate stop growing food and instead work on his build project. And just like that, the food supply going into Los Pollos Hermanos had completely stopped. The restaurant suddenly had no food available to sell.
Oh God. That's awful.
Having no food, Drip Chicken was instead forced to sell some questionable products, and if he was caught selling these products by either the Sultan or the Sultan's twin guards, he would probably receive a life sentence in the Sultanate prison. Meanwhile, the farmers of the Sultanate were
Was he
unhappy
resorting to
since
cannibalism?
They wanted to farm, not be forced to build. So in a rebellious move on day 5, Drip Chicken and the farmers secretly set up a meeting with Saps, the leader of Theria.
Well, Saps is great. So
I
that's
know
why.
you want to move to Theria, but if you do, the Sultan will send his elite squad to hunt you down.
So, what do we do?
Go to Plains or something. There's about to be chaos in the desert.
And Saps was correct. There was about to be chaos
Like,
in
go
the
to the
desert.
Plains or
For
something.
reasons he couldn't tell the farmers just yet, but he did tell me.
You know who Davert is?
Yeah, I think so. He's one of the twin guards, right?
He's about to leave the Sultanate and join me.
Really? The 2 people the Sultan trusts the most are his 2 twin guards, the brothers Davrit and Zamta, but one of them had grown tired of the authoritarian and warmongering ways of the Sultan.
Crazy.
So Davrit had reached out to the leader of Theria, and together they created the single craziest plan I have ever heard, and this was it. First, Davrit leaves the Sultanate to join Theria. Next, the Sultan finds out about the betrayal and sends his elite squad to kill Davrit. Then, when the elite squad is away hunting for Davrit and the Sultan is therefore alone, Davrit will sneak back into the Sultanate and kill.
Oh,
the
that's
Sultan.
actually genius.
Davrit will then claim leadership
That's
over the
so genius,
Sultanate,
though.
And as the new leader, he will finally bring peace to the desert. Davrit, there's no way this works.
Brother, grow some chest hair. Trust me, you'll work for it.
So, at the end of day 7, Davrit snuck out of the Sultanate and headed to Theria to begin the operation, while Drip Chicken and the farmers fled to the plains.
I didn't know it was on 2 speed. My bad.
Island. On their way
I'm
out,
mad I understood
some
it
of them
perfectly
took
still.
one final look back at their home, at their restaurant, knowing that they would probably never see it again, knowing that the story of Los Pollos Hermanos had come to an end.
Subaru is the largest corporate
Hasta
donor to the
luego.
National Park Foundation, helping to protect our parks for future generations
Pollos
through the Share the Love event.
I like the way
Get
that says on my
0%
tongue.
APR
Los
on select-
Pollos Hermanos. I've had it sounds on my tongue. We're on day 8.
On day 8, there was a major event on the Snow Island.
Why does he have the
For the
Twitch
first
logo on
time
his back?
ever, Emperor Olanulo had come out from his underground bunker. He had summoned the entire Snow Island to the Aculon Castle so he could publicly be crowned as the leader.
What the fuck?
Before the coronation, all high-ranking officials were required to provide Olanulo a gift.
I present to you a high-quality pair of premium brand sneakers.
Thank you, Applewood.
I, Baron Saul Goodman, give you this present, Lord Olanulo. My presence is your present.
After the gifts, Olanulo asked his second
Eight.
in command, A Freaking
Eight.
Turkey, to
Eight
make a
with that.
speech affirming Olanulo's undisputed leadership.
My friends, the Aculon Empire is the strongest nation in the world. Not because of one leader, but because of all of us.
Thank you, Turkey.
At the end of the ceremony, Olanulo asked all of his citizens to follow him out of the castle, down the main path of the Empire, in a symbolic move meant to showcase the unity of the Snow Island.
Oh, they got little wool pants now. They're all warm.
But this image of unity was only a mirage. There was a lot of discontent building within the Empire for many reasons. People didn't like that Olanulo's knights were constantly bossing them around, nor did the Aculon builders like it when Olanulo forced them to work on the Aculon castle instead of letting them finish their own projects. There was this general sense that Olanulo might be overreaching with his power,
You think?
especially when he started spying on his own citizens to see who was criticizing his leadership.
Oh,
Olanulo
we're
believed
getting
that in
very
order for his
tyrannical
citizens
here.
to have a good life, they have to live in a strong nation, and the only way to maintain a strong nation was through complete unity under a powerful and unchallenged leader. This is why Olanulo was fearful
gosh.
about the discontent within his nation, as well as the rising popularity of his second in command, A Freaking Turkey. Knowing that they were being spied on,
Turkey.
many of A Freaking Turkey's supporters were becoming scared living on the Snow Island, afraid that they would be executed for not supporting Olanulo's leadership. So, with the help of A Freaking Turkey, plus another high-ranking official, its Ender, some Aculon citizens organized secret evacuations out of the Snow Island through underground tunnels, some of which led to Seth's nation in the jungle, others going to Sidefall's nation in plains. Both
my
Seth and
gosh.
Sidefall were very open to accepting refugees, especially those who opposed Olanulo, someone who they believed to be a dangerous tyrant.
He's gonna
also, they
not
had just found out
take
that
that
Olanulo
well.
had actually sent spies all across the world, including into their own nations, so they didn't like him very much.
We're not going back until there's some form of democracy in Snow.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Meanwhile in Plains, Mr. Turkey, are you starting a revolution?
No, I do not want a revolution. I just want to make sure Olanulo doesn't kill these people.
When are you going back to the Snow Island?
Probably tomorrow, because I'm gonna try and host a meeting with Olanulo. I just think he's gone too far.
So while A Freaking Turkey stayed on the Plains
I don't think
Island
it's gonna
for
go
the rest
well,
of the
a freaking
day,
turkey.
Seth
A
and
freaking
Sidefall
turkey.
created the first ever multi-island treaty. This treaty not only established Seth and Sidefall as allies, but it also declared their nations refugee states, ones that are willing to
that's
accept
really
all
cool.
people fleeing from dictatorial regimes like the Sultanates or the Aculon Empire. As for A gave freaking Turkey's position in the Akulon Empire, he was still technically the second in command, but it was only a matter of time before Olanulo finds out about the missing citizens, and then it's very likely that Turkey will be stripped of his position or be kicked out of the Snow Island entirely and become a refugee himself.
I mean, that's fine. His freaking first in command is being cray-ray. He's being cray-ray. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that at all.
Wait, is that a basketball court?
It
On
is.
day 8, the center island was getting a lot of visits from curious players, and instead of fighting each other, everyone was just kind of hanging out and doing their own thing.
Look at this.
What is this? Don't question me. Later that night, some adventurers started terraforming the dead terrain, making it green. This actually looks not bad. These guys, meanwhile, made a secret underground church, and they hosted many ceremonies and cultural events. What type of ritual is this? Now, I actually attended 2 churches on day 8, the second one inside Falls Nation, although I was very disturbed by the person sitting next to me.
I'm scared.
Only feel in charge the wonders they hold. I cannot say what they are, however, right way to lead this world.
Whoa, what did I do? They're taking him away. Oh no. Later that night, the Plains Island received an unexpected visit from the Akulon Empire's state-sponsored journalist. I'm with the news.
Not I'm with the
Down
news.
With the news. Go away, tabloids. Go away. No false news today. They're kicking out the journalists. Oh my god. Meanwhile, I ran into these Plains farmers who literally did nothing but plant wheat everywhere. Oh my god.
Look at all this freaking wheat.
So
now,
much
right
wheat.
next to the wheat field was a cookie factory in Horus Crown's nation, which took the wheat and made a variety of baked goods. See, ever since the Great Plains Alliance was signed on day 4, the people of Plains believed their island to be, for the most part, a very safe place to live. And as a result, many players felt secure enough to run their own businesses. There was the bakery, an Outback Steakhouse,
There was an Outback
boating and
Steakhouse.
kayaking, 2 KFCs, and there was the most recent addition, Los Pollos Hermanos. You made one in the Plains biome?
Yes. Expansion.
Claiming refugee status, Drip Chicken and the Sultanate farmers received citizenship inside Falls Nation, where they were able to rebuild their famous restaurant, and the people of Plains welcomed the refugees with open arms. The only person who wasn't happy was the owner of KFC, who now had competition. Anyway, when word got out in the desert that Drip Chicken and the farmers had fled the Sultanate, as did Davrit, many loyalists in the Sultanate were furious with these betrayals. While the Sultanate was still the second most powerful nation in the world, the first being Akulon, these betrayals of the Sultanate hurt the Sultan's public image, and he feared being seen as weak by the world and by his own people. So predictably, the Sultan sent his elite squad out into the desert to try to find and kill both Davrit and Drip Chicken.
Jesus
But
Christ!
instead of staying home in the Sultanate, this
What's the
time the
chicken do to
Sultan
you?
traveled with his elite squad. This threw a wrench into Davrit's assassination plan, and Davrit had no choice but to keep hiding underground until he saw an opportunity to strike. Meanwhile, the leader of Theria, Saps, was extremely worried because he knew that the fate of his nation and his people rested on this assassination attempt. If it succeeds and the Sultan is killed, well, then all is well. But if it fails, it will only be a matter of time before the Sultan finds out that Saps was behind the plan, and then there is no doubt that the Sultan will seek revenge and absolutely obliterate Theria, killing not just Saps, but all his people who, by the way, were entirely innocent. Saps purposefully didn't tell any of his citizens that he was involved in an assassination plot because they definitely wouldn't approve of something that puts them in such danger. All of this tension in the desert was really starting to get to some people, like this group, which made a giant lava wall around their civilization. They wanted nothing to do with the politics of the desert, and they were rather paranoid about everything.
The walls keep us safe. We can't leave the walls for long, because then we're not safe. Everyone inside the walls is safe, everyone outside is not safe. They're strangers, we shouldn't trust them. Oh, by the way, also don't push any buttons you find in here.
Okay. I actually think this group was more of a cult than a civilization.
Sounds like a
but
cult, yeah, that
still,
sounds like a cult.
I think they had the right idea.
I mean,
And
they're
now
safe.
we go back to the jungle
They're
war.
safe.
I say war because both
said,
major
"See no
nations
evil,
had already
speak no
basically
evil."
decided that they cannot coexist in the jungle. Seth was mad at the Sea People for killing many of his allies, while the Sea People were mad because Seth wouldn't let them kill those who they believed to be criminals.
Yeah.
Neither nation was willing to compromise on this, so war seemed inevitable.
Can you imagine that? Like, I don't like them because they keep killing my citizens. I don't like him because he won't let me kill his citizens. What? One side sounds dramatically worse than the other side. I just want to point that out.
However, because Seth had also recently formed an alliance with Sidefall from Plains, a war between the two jungle nations would likely cause Sidefall, as well as the rest of the Plains Island, to join the battle, thus turning this into an actual world war. So, given that the stakes were so much higher now, both sides agreed to have one final meeting to maybe work things out. It was Wazak who quickly offered his nation as a good neutral location for the meeting, and he was quite enthusiastic about hosting. On day 8, Seth and the Sea People sent their highest ranking officials to Wazak's nation, where the meeting would take place.
I guess so.
Alright, Seth, you're up first.
I think the Sea People are killing people for a lot of irrational reasons. So, you know, as an example, right? They had 5 stacks of cookies taken from them. That takes like 3 minutes to get, bro. And he's like, I don't think you should murder someone over that.
We requested he give it back, and he basically said no, so he was put on KOS and we killed him.
So that was exactly what Seth just said.
I mean,
yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
Soon, the argument began to escalate.
And the people you attacked were direct allies.
I'm sorry, but what other ways do we have to stop the chaos in the jungle?
They stole. They didn't deserve to be killed over it.
Do you really want to go to war over this?
Well, if you keep killing our people, then we won't just stand by and watch.
Alright, fine. The Sea People declare war.
Alright, let's do it.
But before a fight could begin,
What?
Wazak yelled,
Double, no!
Oh my god.
Go!
Wazak had just killed 7 people using his sand trap before getting away. Seth and the Sea People decided to put their war on hold and declared a unified worldwide manhunt for Wazak. Everyone was confused about why Wazak did this, but then I remembered something Wazak had told me the day before.
Listen, if the war breaks out, I have a plan to stop it.
Really? How?
Oh, you'll see, my friend.
When Seth and the
That
Sea
was your
People
plan?
declared war on each other, Wazak decided to use his sand trap and make himself the villain, so that the entire jungle would make peace to unite against him, therefore actually preventing a world war.
That's a messed up plan,
Wazak is
dude.
now hiding underground.
Dude. And it's just around floating in creative mode and shit.
After spending most of the previous day trying to hunt down his enemies, the Sultan storming Hell decided to take a break from the hunt and attend a wedding hosted by a small neighboring desert nation.
Ooh,
it was a
okay.
huge honor in the desert for the Sultan to visit your civilization, so there was a lot of buzz surrounding the Sultan's visit, and everyone in the desert knew he would be there. Zamta the Twin Guard was also at the wedding, and he was quite thankful for the break since he secretly despised having to hunt for his own brother. When the Sultan demanded that Davert be tracked down and killed, Zamta was horrified by this order, but he kept silent, fearing that he'd be next. Zamta could only hope that Davert was far away now, hiding in a place where the Sultan would never find him. But it turned out Davert was not far away at all, because he was on a mission.
Mission? He digging.
He's actually here. Davert was coming to kill the Sultan, but he had to be sneaky because the Sultan was guarded by his elite team. The plan was to catch him and his team off guard since it would only take a few hits to kill him.
Oh my god. This is so intense for no reason.
This right now.
You just floating in creative mode, ish. Just standing by watching.
the wedding yet. The wedding's over. He's leaving. Oh, he's leaving.
Davert, I don't think you're gonna make it.
Oh! Davert! Holy crap! Oh! He's hit him so many times! Wait, Storming's getting away? The elite team is on Davert.
No! Davert's gonna die! Davert, no!
Oh! Oh, he's getting close! He's getting close! Oh, he turned around? Holy crap, everyone's here! This is insane!
Oh my god! No! Davert, no! Saps! Saps, you better not commit suicide. Saps, you better not commit suicide. Not skill issue. Y'all are horrid. Skill issue is crazy.
Way back home, I think. What is happening?
Kill him, Zamta.
What? Oh boy.
Hell yeah.
Angry about the death of his brother Davert, Zamta betrayed and killed the Sultan storming Hell in what he called an act of revenge. All of a sudden, within the span of a few minutes, storming Hell, Saps, and Davert were all dead. Both the Sultanate and Theria were without a leader, and the desert island was in a state of total confusion.
Jesus Christ.
Now, because the Sultanate didn't have a solid line of succession, there was a short power struggle that ended with the Sultanate getting completely dissolved. On day 9, the second most powerful nation in the world had fallen, and most of the Sultanate's citizens ended up fleeing. That being said, it wasn't totally the end. Some who were still loyal to the late Sultan decided to form their own militias, whose only goal was to track down Zamta and avenge the Sultan.
Jesus Christ.
Called by our divine leader to kill the dirty traitor. Mashallah.
Theria, on the other hand, didn't dissolve and instead elected a new leader, a player named Jophiel, who was well liked and trusted in the community. Still, the people of Theria would continue to live in a state of fear, afraid they would be invaded by one of the new desert militias.
Jesus.
Also, they would never find out
Why
why
is
their founder Saps jumped
so
off the
intricate.
Therian tower, which he did because of guilt. After he saw Davert die, Saps believed that the Sultan would invade and destroy Theria, and he felt too ashamed knowing that he would be responsible. It was only thanks to Zamta that the invasion didn't happen.
Oh my gosh.
The
Saps,
death
you
of
could have
the
waited
Sultan
like 5
sent
seconds.
shockwaves throughout not just the desert, but the whole world. Many nations went on lockdown, including the Akulon Empire. While they technically weren't allies, Emperor Olanilo had always admired Sultan Storming Hell's strong authoritarian leadership. So after the lockdown,
That's a problem.
Olanilo
We
sent
didn't
his
peep that
diplomats
earlier
to the
with
desert
Madu?
to offer support to the Sultanate militias. At the same
We don't
time,
think that's
on
a
the
weird
Plains
thing to
Island,
do?
Drip Chicken of Los Pollos Hermanos was watching the desert from afar, and he was worried about these rumored desert militias. Because Drip Chicken was from the desert, he was able to educate his customers in Plains about the politics of the desert, and after Saps' death, he encouraged Sidefall to send diplomats to Theria quickly, and Sidefall did just that. On day 9, Theria officially joined Seth and all the Plains nations in the a refugee state contract. And what originally started as a simple refugee agreement between Seth and Sidefall had now turned into a worldwide alliance called the Alliance of Democratic Nations, or put simply,
Original name,
the
guys.
Allies.
Oh, I love A for originality, I guess. That was so original. The Allies of Democratic Nations. Where have I not heard that before?
As the people of the Aculon Empire continued their daily routines, the highest-ranking officials of the Empire gathered to discuss the new existential dilemma they were now facing. The Aculon Empire had always been the most powerful nation in the world, and it still technically is, but when adding together the populations of all the states in the Democratic Nations Alliance, it is the Allies that have more people overall. This made Aculon officials extremely worried. They saw this as the first legitimate threat to the regime. Alaniulo
It's only a threat if you do something
view,
stupid.
But at the moment, his attention was on another problem entirely. The problem known as A Freakin' Turkey.
I love him.
A Freakin' Turkey's rise to popularity had always bothered Alaniulo, but now this conflict was at an absolute breaking point because yesterday, one of Alaniulo's spies caught A Freakin' Turkey helping Snow citizens flee the Empire. Fleeing or defecting was strictly against Aculon law. Alaniulo's spy also saw A Freakin' Turkey hanging out with not just Sidefall, but nearly all the major Plains leaders, which made Alaniulo think, is A Freakin' Turkey planning something?
No,
is
he's
he
not.
secretly working with the Allies? Is he about to orchestrate a full-scale revolution or an invasion of the Aculon Empire? These were all questions that Alaniulo was wrestling with, and the more he thought about it, the more he convinced himself that A Freakin' Turkey was probably committing some sort of treason and
Jesus
needed to be
Christ.
stopped.
Why don't you
Yesterday,
just talk
A
to
Freakin'
him?
Turkey had reached out to Alaniulo for a meeting, and today, Alaniulo accepted this request, but with a few conditions. 1, this meeting takes place at the Aculon Castle. 2, Turkey comes alone. And 3, the meeting takes place not today, but tomorrow, because Alaniulo needed some extra time for his builders to finish a certain project located on the top of the Aculon Castle. Nobody knew why or what the strange-looking tower was, but Alaniulo insisted it be completed by the time Turkey shows up.
That's not suspicious at all.
Tomorrow is certainly going to be interesting, so make sure everyone's ready.
Lastly, later in the day, Alaniulo sent diplomats to
Now,
establish
we don't need to
alliances
kill
with both
a
the
frickin'
desert
turkey.
militias
We don't need to do
and
that.
with the sea people in the jungle.
We don't need to do that.
Alaniulo appreciated the sea people's value of order, and he promised that he will help them stop the chaos in the jungle and help them catch their #1 most wanted criminal, Wazuk. The sea people accepted this alliance,
These names are
but
killing
they
me.
ended up not needing Aculon's help because late into day 9, Wazuk decided to turn himself in.
Oh, we swam
About
back?
to be executed. A guilty conscience, perhaps.
They built that tree? Oh my god, it's
All
so
right,
pretty.
Wazuk, I understand you have a prepared statement. You may now read your final words.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, it's your old friend Wazok. In the beginning, I wanted to rule the world. But I've made some bad decisions. And now, it's my time to go.
You killed innocents. Not making speak.
If there's one thing I've learned, is that time can never be your trusted friend.
Boo.
Long live the jungle.
This is the most dramatic death I've ever seen in my life. Not him 8-bit falling.
After deciding that being a criminal in hiding isn't how he wanted to live, Wazik instead chose to face his inevitable death on his own terms, and by doing so, he gave the jungle one last moment of unity.
Anyone else jumping?
The conflict between the two major jungle tribes was still unresolved, especially now that they were in opposing alliances, but for this brief moment, there was peace in the jungle. Well, that was fun. Everyone's coming down the tree now. Most nations around the world took the end of Day 9 to rest and reflect on how far they've come. For example, the jungle's Blue Cross tribe celebrated becoming international, with at least one charity location on each island.
Oh, that's
Meanwhile, in the
nice.
desert, the two Sultanate militias held a funeral for the late Sultan, where they vowed to get revenge and chanted death to Theria, after which they proceeded to finish building the Sultan's holy city in his honor.
Wow, oh my
on the other hand,
God.
expanded its reach into the arts
How
and
are y'all
became the first
building this shit?
civilization to develop music. Oh. Lastly, on the Plains Island, businesses were booming and civilizations were thriving. On Day 9, the Plains Island had finished the construction of the ISH, the International State Highway, which made trade and transportation between the major Plains nations much faster.
Wow.
Overall, the building and architecture and player creativity in Plains was simply amazing, and it was all made possible by the political stability of the
How are
Plains
they
Island.
doing that?
Many in the desert and jungle and snow looked at Plains as the shining
Not a
beacon
beekeeper.
that they can aspire to be like
He must
one
be
day.
beekeeping age.
Imagine being able to build an app with
That
your
looks
name on it.
so
Just
cool.
by thinking about it. Meet
I don't
Base
have the
44.
patience. We're almost done, guys. We're almost at day 10. Little bee.
As the end of the day approached, A Freak and Turkey returned to the Plains Tavern after spending the day traveling around the world, visiting civilizations in the jungle, the deserts, and of course the Plains Island. During many of his visits, he was very surprised when he found out that most people from these foreign nations not only knew about him, but admired him. This was because rumor had spread about his disobedience to Alanulo, and as a result, he had earned a worldwide reputation as the savior of refugees, the honorable rebel, the man who stood up to the emperor, and everywhere A Freak and Turkey went, he was welcomed with open arms.
Not them
By the
jumping
way, I
in
think he would have been
joy.
perfect for that.
Yeah, I heard there was a comedy show here. You should have called me over.
When it came to the Akulon Empire, the truth was, A Freak and Turkey had no intention of causing any type of uprising or revolution. In fact, he was strictly against the idea, knowing just how devastating a major war would be. But he did want change in the Empire. During his prolonged stay in Plains, he had seen what freedom and democracy look like. He had come to regret his more tyrannical actions in the early days, and he now envisioned a reformed Akulon Empire. His new dream was to bring democracy
cinematography
to
is-
snow,
is-
bring freedom
why
to
is
the
it so
people
good?
of the Akulon Empire, and
The
make the
angles.
snow refugees feel
They're
safe
not
to
changing
come back
expressions
home.
at all, and yet I understand every
I might
expression
just
on
be
these
overly
blockheads' faces.
optimistic, But I think we can achieve world peace.
Okay. If A Freak and Turkey is able to convince Alanulo to convert the empire from a tyrannical dictatorship into a free democracy, and then the Akulon Empire ends up
He's going to
joining
say
the
no.
Allies, then world peace wouldn't just be a far-fetched idea for wishful thinkers. It would actually happen. With this massive goal in mind, A Freak and Turkey prepared for tomorrow for his big meeting with Alanulo.
The cinematography is amazing. Why is it so good? Day 10.
Just remember everything we talked about. We'll be watching.
Before A Freak and Turkey took off for the Snow Island, he had met with the 4 major Plains leaders one last time to tell them what he hopes to achieve in his upcoming talk with Alanulo.
I think Alania's about to kill you. Or We're gonna have a
Plains
world war
leaders
on our
were
hands.
Pessimistic. See, when they heard about Olanulo's strict conditions for the meeting to take place, they suspected that this was going to be the meeting where Olanulo removes Turkey from his second-in-command position, or worse, puts Turkey in Akulon's prison.
They have a prison?
Whatever happens today, the Plains leaders promised Turkey that he has the full support of the allied nations. Even if they can't attend the meeting, they will be watching and will do whatever they can to help him.
The little boat.
There we go. Turkey is now back on the snow island. I think he's going to the meeting right away.
I think them running is really funny. The fuck is that?
This is weird.
This
Turkey's
is
been
weird.
in the castle for like a few minutes now, and Olanulo's nowhere to be seen. Oh, he's right here. He's on his way.
Why is
Here we
his
go.
weapon
Everyone's
drawn?
here now. I think everyone's here now. Knights come to the castle. Wow, I think these are all the high-ranking officials of Akulon. They're all here.
Hear ye, hear ye. All barons, Duke Turkey, and fellow knights have now come together to speak with Emperor Olanulo. Olanulo, would you please start the conversation?
Wait. Turkey, hold up. So before we begin, sorry to interrupt. I have a special thing I want to do real quick.
Wait.
Here.
Drew, not yet. I want to do something first. Turkey, can you sit on the throne for a second?
No.
Why?
Just do it.
Okay. What are we doing?
What is happening?
Can I trust you, Turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You like
What?
this, right? Sitting on the throne?
You put me on here. I don't know what you're talking about.
In front of all these people?
What are you getting on about?
I know that you've colluded with the Plains Alliance. And I know that you want to take over this nation.
I'm not.
Take this throne for yourself.
Whoa. What?
There's nothing you can do at this point to convince me that you're not plotting a revolution against me. I caught you red-handed.
No! Olanulo! Yes, I've talked with Plains. I've also talked with Desert and Jungle. I am a diplomat. And I'll tell you this, all those people that I talked with will become our allies the moment we turn this place into an actual democracy.
Why are you secretly leading people off my island?
Because they thought you were going to kill them. And to be honest, so did I. So that's the point of this meeting. You want to get rid of me? You know what? How about I just leave, and you won't have to deal with me again? I'm just gonna go, okay?
Get off the throne. Get off the throne!
Yeah, and then you'll come back with an army. I'm sorry, Turkey.
Get off the throne. Get off the throne!
Oh! Wait, they're killing Turkey's supporters! They're hunting down his supporters as well! This is crazy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island, and many of Turkey's supporters were killed. The few who were able to escape immediately swam to the other islands to tell everyone exactly what happened.
and all of the knights started executing Bernie, Ender, Turkey. They assassinated some of the most loved members of Akalon.
When A Freakin' Turkey's death message appeared in chat, people around the world were outraged, and shortly after, the leaders of the allied nations started activating their militaries, putting them on standby.
Not a world war.
Turkey once visited Los Pollos Hermanos. I'm giving the army chicken for 50% off to make sure they're ready for battle.
Meanwhile, Elanulo got word that the allies were preparing their armies, so he declared a full lockdown, reached out to his own allies, and called them to the Akulon castle to be ready in case the allies declare war. And sure enough, when the Blaze leaders talked with Theria and Seth, the votes was unanimous. On day 10, the Alliance of Democratic Nations officially declared war on the Akulon Empire.
Oh my god!
I just want to say I wish you luck and great success. Hopefully we all see some of you tomorrow to sign the constitution of the new Akulon Republic. The new Akulon Republic that we all dream about having. Thank you. Thank you all.
Why do these always end in a war?
This isn't about our lives. It's about getting justice for Turkey and ridding the world of tyranny.
All the allied nations met up at the center island so they could attack the Snow Island together.
Today, we fight for revenge. We fight for freedom.
Look at him just slamming. It's a full-scale war.
But little did the allies know, Elanulo had set a trap. The Akulon builders had taken inspiration from history and created what they called the Iron Torch, the most advanced defensive tower in the world, complete with dangerous height, sturdy walls, arrow slits, and lava cover. This is crazy.
What the fuck? How do y'all build these things in this game? Like, how do you do that? Oh my god, I'm worried. They're not gonna survive. They're not gonna survive. I'm so scared.
Time can never be your trusted friend or your sworn ally.
Better saying.
No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and goodbyes. Maybe a love like ours can lead out its call.
Not them. Oh. Oh no. Not them climbing the lava. No.
Watch out, they're coming up.
Oh my god. Jeez. Samta, he's dead. Y'all just built a fucking tree.
They're dropping lava on them.
Watch out for the arrows now. Keep going. We'll keep you near until the world ends and you are safe with me until the world ends.
Not dynamite. Oh! Oh! This is chaos. I don't even know whose side is on who. Ooh. Goodbye, Elanilo. Goodbye, Elanilo.
Wait, Elanilo died?
What?
Elanilo died!
Let there be peace. Elanilo is dead.
Soon after Elanilo died, the Aculon Empire officially surrendered.
Wait, Aculon's officials say they surrendered? Still kill them.
But even though Aculon surrendered, the Allies didn't stop fighting. No mercy, no mercy. They're all saying no mercy.
No mercy.
Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island. But this time, it was the supporters of Turkey doing the killing. This is just an absolute slaughter fest.
Oh my god. They said no mercy. Were you a shrimp?
After a while, the Allies had completely taken over the Iron Torch, and all the Aculon forces had either been killed or had fled the island and gone into hiding. And with that, the Alliance of Democratic Nations had defeated the Aculon Empire.
God, that was a full-scale war.
It was only when the war ended and the clouds parted that the Allies were finally able to reflect on what they had done. They had succeeded, but they had also shown no mercy.
None.
When their enemy surrendered, they continued to be ruthless and thirsty for blood. It was as if they had become their enemy. As the Allies each safely returned to their homes, now with a clear mind, many of them felt regret.
No.
Neither side was completely innocent, and the war was complicated. But at least it was over. And the Allies had won.
A lava lay on top of a fucking torch is crazy. It's crazy. Damn. Down to half is insane.
The people of Plains, Theria, Seth, and a few smaller nations created a world alliance with a massive parliament building on the center island, where world leaders met to discuss the affairs of their nations and, most importantly, to keep the peace.
And
the first order of
how
business
did y'all build that?
was pardoning the few living players who fought for Aculon so they didn't have to live in hiding. Meanwhile, the snow refugees were able to move back to the Snow Island and create the new Aculon Republic, putting democracy in snow. They also tore down the remains of the Iron Torch and put in its place a graveyard honoring all who died in the Battle of Aculon. And overlooking the graveyard was the man, or Turkey, who inspired them all.
Just a pet polar bear. That's so cute. How did y'all build that? Literally, how did y'all build that?
The jungle went back to hosting comedy shows. The desert went back to pursuing the arts. And Drift Chicken went back to running Los Pollos Hermanos. After all that happened throughout the days, things were finally settling down.
Oh, I'm glad.
For many players, the newfound peace allowed for new stories to begin. But for us, it's a good place to end.
That was really good. The cinematography is insane in this. Like, it's so good. Oh my god! I will say the second one that I watched, which is the newest one that came out a couple, like 4 months ago, that we saw yesterday, was a lot better than this one. I'm not saying this one wasn't good. This one is still good. I just think the other one, because it's a lot longer, there's so much more documented that went on. That was really, really good. I enjoyed that. I like these. I like watching these. They're cute. Full of war and betrayal, but still cute. And slaughter and death. But someone had a pet polar bear, and I would kill for that. Okay, so let's exit out of this. Not sure what to do now. It's 11:27, so I guess this will be.
If you're a woman,
what is
stuck,
happening?
whether in corporate,
I don't want your
job to job, or lost after university.
I guess this is like where we stopped today. Thank you guys so much. If you're coming from Twitch or from YouTube, thanks for being here. Hopefully I'll make some clips of this and post them. Hey, stop that. What are you doing? No. Nope. 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 Stop that. Cat's scratching. Why were you scratching that? As many scratching items that are in this house, you chose to scratch that? That's rude. As I was saying, if you're watching from Twitch or YouTube, thank you for being here. YouTube's the people that are watching vertically. Twitch is watching horizontally. Apparently you can do that on Streamlabs. I didn't know that until a couple days ago. But yeah. Thank y'all so much, and I'll see you guys for the next watch party. Bye!